lookalikes. They not like us. They don't like us. They not like us. They not like lookalikes. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like lookalikes. They don't like us. We the original, number one, uno. We're not alike, you know. Y'all are liar, like we made in the image, our likeness. Our image is righteous, our lineage is priceless. You can't buy or sell it, they tried it, fell it, they tried to sell it, they tried it. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They don't like us, they don't like us. They don't like lookalikes, they don't like us. They not like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. We the original, number one on the road. We're not out like you know. Y'all are all liar, like we're made in the image and likeness. Our image is righteous, our lineage is priceless. You can't buy or sell it, it's right. Can't ever sell it, it's right.
Thing going on. Let's get Miss B, Miss Bia. Hop on, Miss Bia. Miss Bia. All right. Well, if we're not getting Miss Bia, let's get King in here.
Hello.
What's up, King?
What's up, Tariq, Bo?
How you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
What's on your mind?
I just want to say, FBA is a clause. Do you know what a clause is?
A clause? No. Spell that.
A clause. CLAUSE.
Yeah, see, okay. A clause. What does that mean?
A clause is one word or phrase or sentence or anything with multiple meaning. So when you say FBA, it's African. It's we say FBA is African. African.
Brother, you are. Please slow down. Let's slow down because, brother, you are talking in tongues right now. Let's all right. Let's slow it down because you scratching and mixing and shit. You sound like Dougie Fresh.
My bad.
All right. Now, FBA is a clause. It has multiple meanings. Meaning what now?
One word or phrase with multiple meanings.
Okay, that I don't get what that means.
So one word, I say the color blue. Multiple things about the color blue. The color blue is the color blue. Green is not the color blue. You know, multiple with all those things about the color blue. You know, multiple things about one thing. So when you say FBA is African lineage, but not African, that's a clause.
That don't make no sense, sir.
You can't be. You say FBA is you know, it mixed African, Native American, and American. What is it? You know, all that would be a clause. All that would be a clause for the term FBA.
That makes no sense, sir.
I know it makes no sense. It's a clause. It's called a clause though. Like when you go on the dictionary. When you go in the dictionary, you look at all the words and you see multiple definitions and things for the words. Those are all called clauses.
Listen,
So
listen.
FBA African but not African will be a clause.
You keep saying African. No.
Yes. Yes. You want yes. Aren't we
Okay. What's a cake? Define what a cake is.
a what? A cake is a cake is a cake.
Okay, what is a cake? What is a cake? It's CAKE. What's a cake?
A cake is a cake is a cake. A cake is a cake.
No. You can't define it with the no. You can't define it with the name. No. What is a cake? You can't define it with the name. What makes a cake? What's the difference between a cake and a pie?
It's the
Nothing. What's the difference between a cake and a pie?
a cake is a cake and a pie is a pie.
That's not a definition, sir. You're just naming something over and over again. See, this is why you're not articulating yourself that well, sir.
No, a cake is a cake and a pie is a pie.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
They both have definitions.
So what's the definition of them?
I don't know. I don't know what the definition is.
You don't know what a pie is?
Yeah, I know what a pie is, but I don't know.
Define it.
A pie is a pie. A pie is a
no,
pie.
it's not a pie. It's a pie. A pie is a pastry dish,
right,
that you bake,
right,
using dough,
yeah,
as a crust, and you usually fill it with something, usually a fruit, or some type of vegetable, and you put sweetener in it.
Yes, yes.
That's what a pie is.
Now you just said.
All right, I just gave a definition. I just defined what a pie is.
Right.
A cake.
All those things.
Stop talking, because you just saying the same shit over and over.
No, I'm sorry, Bo. All those things you said about a pie are all clauses. Are all different things about different things about that one thing.
Right. No, that's not a clause. There's different things that goes into making a pie. That's not a a pie is what it is. It's its own separate entity.
Which is a clause. A pie
that's
is
not
a
a clause. That's a noun. It's a thing. It's not a clause. A pie is a very distinct pastry.
But multiple things. I know. Yeah, but just multiple things about a pie, dude. All those things you're saying are clauses.
A pie is one thing, sir.
But multiple things about a pie, about that one pie, about a pie.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, FBA is a clause. When you say FBA and you describe FBA, you say African and what African, Native American, and what else? But African, Native American, and Indigenous American ancestry. That's a clause. That's a clause for FBA. That's all. That's a clause for FBA. There's multiple things about the word. Multiple things about the one FBA. But
all right, thank you so much. We're so glad to have you here, sir. All right. What the hell was that? Good freaking grief. What the hell was that? What prison babble was that? Oh, God. When you go to jail, and I don't knock anybody for going to prison. I don't knock you. Things happen. Y'all go in jail and dude read one book and he saw the word clause somewhere, and now he's trying to overuse it and use it in a out of context manner. He read the definition of clause while in jail. So now he thinks using the word clause makes him seem smart. He read that somewhere in prison, and now he's trying to misapply it to certain things. I know dudes from jails who used to do that. They'll learn a word and then try to crowbar that word, that one word that they learned in the situations. Yeah. He's one of them kind. what he said was so damn ridiculous, and I'm not trying to knock his little speech impediment. I'm trying, But if you already got a little impediment, don't put dumb shit with it. That's see, if there's a clause, see, the African and the Native American, and see, that's a clause. See, what you got to understand, see, it can't be. There's multiple things in the world at the same time. That's a clause. That I want you to understand that. See, well, for example, blue is blue. Okay, the color blue is the color blue. Mahogany is mahogany. See, blue and mahogany, those are compatible, but they don't go together because that's a clause. See, that's what y'all don't understand. That's a clause. Okay? Now, a cake and a pie. What's a cake and a pie? A pie and a cake. Okay? Both of them is clauses. Okay? A pie is a pie, a cake is a cake. Okay? See, those things cannot coexist in the same universe unless you put a clause in front of it. Then there are two multiple things that mean different things at the same time. Like green is green, orange is orange, okay? Orange is orange. Anywhere you go, orange is going to be orange. African orange, Filipino orange, FBA orange, all of it is orange. You understand me? What the fuck? What are you talking about? God damn. Okay. All right. Good grief. Right. Lord. You say it's synthetic. Synthetic is a clause. Let's unpack what synthetic is, okay? Synthetic means not real, or does it, okay? Because what is real and what's not real, that's up to precipitation, okay? That's up to your precipitation, because it's all a clause. Lord. Oh, that prison babble. Just doing the most. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the lovely Bombay. All right. Raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on here? All right, raise your hands. All right. Let's see who we got. All right. Let me see. Let me just look in the chat and see who we got in here and start bringing folks up. We got a lot of folks in here. I'm going to just start adding people because I don't see your hands up. And we're not going to do this where I'm just telling people to put your hands up and y'all don't put them hands up. What's up, Royal?
Yeah, I'm with you. How y'all living?
You all right over there, Royal?
Yeah, you can hear me?
I can hear you now. Here, there was some rubbing going together. All right, what is
Sorry about that. How y'all doing? What's happening with you? Hey, man, they crazy out here, man. It's sad, man. It's sad, man. That what they, man. I'm out here in Houston or whatnot, and just, man, I can't even explain it, man.
I see you can, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you, sir. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Yeah, we can't do that, brother. Just respect. I don't know what you're saying. It's taking you forever to explain what you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say, sir. I don't know what you're trying to say. Man, it's crazy, man. It's all this shit going on out here. Man, I don't know what to do. Man, we're going to have to save my money to do something about this because it's crazy. They all, nigga, what's crazy? I don't know what you're talking about, brother. What is it? Zombies out there? What's happening out there? I don't know. You're not putting no context to nothing. All right? I don't know what you're talking about. Family, please, y'all do not smoke nothing before y'all call up. Because I know when you smoke, everything kind of goes in slow. So it kind of takes you a minute to rev up. No. Lay down. Just lay down and just listen. It's fine. All right? Man, it's crazy, though. That shit. It's crazier than last time. Last time was crazy. Right now, it's crazy, man. What they doing out here, man, they were doing the same shit 5 years ago. It's crazier now than it was 5 years ago in 2021, man. Shit, it's crazy. I can't even explain, dude. Shit, it's crazy. It's all out here, man. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. When you think about it, it ain't never been this crazy. You understand? It was crazy before, but it ain't been this crazy, man. I'm trying to understand how I got so crazy, though, man. You understand? It got just crazy, like overnight crazy. Because basically, what I'm trying to say, it's a clause. See, it's a clause, and see, when you look at a clause, blue is blue, red foot, blue foot, 2 foot, blue. Oh, God, what do y'all be talking about, man? Oh, goodness. Man. God, the clause guy. Did y'all hear the playback for the clause guy? That was funny. No. Oh, God, the clause dude. Damn, that is funny. A cake is a cake, okay? A pie is a pie, okay? A pie is not a cake unless it's a blue cake, and then that would make it a clause, okay? A blue cake is a clause, a red pie is a clause, times 2 divided by 7, that's a double negative clause. I'm like, what? No. The hell? Oh, hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. How are you, dear?
Yo, B1. Yeah, that clause was the funniest thing I heard maybe all year. Oh my God. I gotta go on mute when I play it. Cause I be laughing so hard, yo. Oh my God. Like I can't even eat anything. I can't drink anything. Like it automatically brings about a laugh out of me. Yeah. Oh my God. Yo, that's the funniest thing. So we're back. I'm gonna play some things and then I'm gonna go into the dichotomy experience between African and highly selected immigrants versus we got two different experiences in the system of racism, right? America's systemic racism. If because they say, hey man, we all skin folk, so we kin folk, and they say, hey, the police officers can't tell us the difference, right? The police officers can't tell the difference when they pull us over. So I'm like, well, if that's the case, then our experiences should be the same. There shouldn't be a dichotomy effect, right? If systemic racism is locking us out and keeping us down, we expect to see you guys kept down and locked out. And you have them come on these platforms and tell you they're not being held down. They will tell you in a way to shade us, they will admit that there's no obstacles in front of them. It's like, so we like, wait a minute. So there's no obstacles in front of you and the best you can do is buy a house and get a car? That's the best you can do with no obstacles? Family, we are gazillionaires with all the obstacles. Can you imagine if there was no systemic obstacles in front of us? They'll tell you to your face, hey, I'm not being affected by systemic racism. And then they'll tell us we're the same. It's like, wait a minute. If you're not experiencing this, my guy, then you can't be like us in experience. Right to your face. So it's some things to point out. So I'm gonna go in real in depth. I tried it last night, but I was so fatigued and tired, man. And now I'm on this accountability thing where I'm holding everybody accountable equal, right? I'm not gonna give anybody a pass. FBs can act like a fool, but everybody else can't. No. So I don't care who don't come back and unsubscribe. Don't matter. Don't matter, man. Because I already started to plan how I'm gonna do things. So all you guys who are been dedicated supporters, riders, I'm gonna do the whole lineage wrench thing over, right? So if one day y'all come over and y'all don't have a wrench, I'm gonna re-wrench you because I wanna make a distinction of who was here and who wasn't, right? So people are in this for the wrong reason. They're in this for entertainment. They stopped watching Love and Hip Hop and they started watching our spaces. Like, because to them, there's no difference. It's toxicity in a different form. That's all. So people are in this for the wrong reason. They don't want to see Black excellence. So I'm here. That's why I changed my ways, like how I engage with, you could say, the tethers. I would go crazy and I go crazy in them and cuss them out. I have 500 people live. I start to just not cuss them out, but still cook them, but in an educational way, like Malcolm X. 15 people live. Say, wait a minute. So y'all don't even care for the information? Like, I break down the same things, family, over and over and over and over, almost every live. Folks come on a panel and don't know what an X on them is. Folks don't know what brain drain is. I'm like, so when I was repeating this over and over and over, and you guys liking it, sharing, sending super chats, cash chats, I'm thinking people are learning. I'm thinking I'm doing a good job. I'm thinking I'm producing results in the in this space with my lineage. I'm thinking that my family is learning from the research that I sacrificed to do, right? Y'all can recall at one point I was not available around this time. I'm in the gym, you know? So I took a lot of sacrifices because I thought I was reaching my family with education, not entertainment, education. So I'm saying like, oh, so people just want to be entertained. Like I'm not in it for that. So I'm gonna have my schedule gonna be a little different, family. I'm going back to the gym. You feel me? And I'm gonna let them go ahead to all those spaces where they just cussing each other out. That TikTok space that's making us look crazy. Everybody's okay with looking like, yo, they're making a mockery of us. And you're okay with that because it makes you laugh? Yo, that's the minstrel. But again, these same people of the lineage don't know history. Don't as much as we talk about it, I talk about this Black, whoever else, they don't listen for that. They wait for the engagement where it's a back and forth. I bet you because Tariq Nasheed dedicates his Sunday nights. It's just education because there's no call-in. So now you're forced to just get educated. There's no toxicity, no back and forth with haters. I wonder if people actually tune into those because he's not going back and forth. I'm like, I wonder if they don't even tune in on a Sunday night lives. Simply because this is an educational live, like straight seriousness, no trolling, no roasting. Yeah, but it's sad though. It's sad. Like you see a lot of FBAs with tethered spirits, man. Like wow, yo. Like so, I'm thinking, I underestimated us, man. No, I overestimated us. I'm thinking like we were ready to do something, one accord. No, 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 no. No, the minute that you hold them accountable and demand that they represent Black excellence, they're fighting me to not represent Black excellence. They're justifying why they should help sabotage the lineage, help sabotage our name, our banner. So I'm like, so you don't mind people with the banner FBA acting a fool and doing all that? Like, that's okay? Like, really? That don't make you feel like, how old are you again? Like, wow, I'm talking to the wrong audience. I'm talking to the wrong, all right, no problem. Let me get this TikTok rocking. Yeah, let me speak to the right audience. I realized I'm talking to the wrong audience. I'm thinking I got my peers, people my age, I'm thinking like we the mature adults. I'm saying, hey man, get a TikTok. I'm talking about for my panelists, people who come on here to speak. I'm saying, hey, get a TikTok. I kept giving people hints. Hey, I don't want you being long-winded on YouTube. Like, wink, wink, wink. Don't be long-winded. Land planes, please. Make points, land planes. I'm saying it in the most positive, respectful way ever. They talk long-winded. I'm like, dude, if you want to be long-winded, get a TikTok account. That's where it's welcome. You come on TikTok, I'll let you go for an hour. But on YouTube, I like to teach. I don't like to lecture. There you go. Start teaching again. Start lecturing. Like, yo, what are we doing, yo? Like, we just off cold. I'm like, yo. So the next day, I'm on TikTok. They don't appear. The next day, they don't appear. Then they pull up on here to be long with it. I'm like, yo, I just told you get a TikTok account. You can be long-winded as you want. I don't want the long-winded here. I don't want the preaching here. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, what is going on? But as y'all see, man, I've been simultaneously on TikTok and YouTube and TikTok. People been pulling up, having great dialogues. You dig? I'm gonna go live in a second. I want to first play this. So Yvette Carnell went live last night, and she touched on some things that I want you guys to hear, right? Because this is how. Don't forget, we're not doing anything new. We're not saying anything new. We're putting it in better. Hold on. We're choosing how to articulate it better, right? Some of us have a great idea but can't express it, can't articulate it. So when we listen to Tariq Nasheed, Yvette Carnell, all these folks, they're not really saying anything different than we ain't already thought of, right? They're just putting it in words that's visual, that we can conceptualize. We can, you feel me? We like, yeah, that's what I wanted to say the whole time. I just didn't know how to say it. ADOS, that is it. There we go. American Descendants of Slavery. That's what I was trying to say. FBA. Yeah, that's it right there. Yep, that's it. I've been trying to say that, but I just ain't know how to formulate it. Delineate. Yep, that's the word. What that mean again? Yep, that's what I was trying to say all that time. I just was saying too many words, and you said it in one word. Disaggregate. Yes, that's the word I was trying to say. Ethnogenesis. What's that? Oh, yeah, you know what? I felt like that. I felt like we were different people amongst those who are in the diaspora and Africa. Like, I just didn't know how to express it in words. What's that word called again? Ethnogenesis? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I like that word. Okay. One word to express many words that we were using. We were expressing our thoughts with too many words. So many words that our peers, friends, and families wouldn't even listen because it's too many words. They're like, yo, all right, okay, bro, you preaching. They gave it to us in one word, or, yeah, ADOS, the acronym, one word. FBA. That's sort of like a word. Solon, Friedman. That's it. We're trying to explain how we're different and we're using too many words. Therefore, we're confusing people. We're over the place. We're saying clauses, basically. And these guys were the ones to say it in just one word, one way. Ethnogenesis, two words, but you get what I'm saying. It's combined. It's a compound word. We're like, oh, yeah. So now we're able to get on code. It's easier to resonate with because it's just one word. It's not a bunch of words. Confusing us. Let's go to the dictionary and look it up. It's one word to look up. It's not 17, 15. One word. So Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell, like, they were clever enough to keep the language concise as possible. Few words, but say a lot. Few words, but explain a lot. Few words, but cover a multitude of things. ADOS, FBA, delineate, disaggregate, ethnogenesis. Those few words cover 400 plus years of information. That was brilliant. That's what folks are mad at. The preaching we were doing, it was good for just people who can tolerate it. You know, people took 2 hours to explain ethnogenesis because they didn't know the word or delineate. 2 hours in the lecture. Because if you think about it, when you think about Powernomics for Dr. Claude Anderson in 2001, he was saying that, but it took a 2-hour video. And he was dropping heavy points. He talked about delineating. He talked about ethnogenesis. He didn't use those words, but he described it. He described delineate, reparations. Well, he flat out said reparations, but he delineate, disaggregate. He said those words without saying it. But it took a 2-hour video. That's okay. Because he was like the root of a lot of this right here, these thoughts. He was part of the root. Other folks were saying it too. But he was part of the root. And because we're innovators, so people like Dr. Claude were the inventors. Like they came up with the argument, but it was a lot of words. And because we're an innovator, because our culture is innovations, we produce innovators. We took Dr. Claude bunch of words, hundreds and thousands of words, and you put them in 5 or 6. So that 2-hour video is explained by just saying disaggregate, delineate, ethnogenesis, reparations, disaggregate. That's it. That right there was like what, 5 seconds? That covered Dr. Claude Anderson 2-hour video. Because we're innovators, so we're going to innovate. We're going to make it smaller, but powerful. You dig? Powerful. So we are gaslit by ops. I mean, more and more and more that I research our history in America, you start to come to a conclusion that the Pan-Africans are indeed agents, like ops. I don't need any proof, like no absolute proof. It's circumstantial. Okay, so in this country, there's no history, family. There's no history of a people in this country being successful without government intervention, without government resources, government programs. Nobody in this country back then and now, there's no history of anybody in this country being successful without government intervention, government programs, and government assistance. This is why the white tees gaslight us to like not make us feel bad to take advantage of these things. They try to make like welfare is terrible. If it's so terrible, then why are there gazillion white tee people on it? Like I had to think one day. I said, wait a minute. Wait, what's the numbers? Because we're gaslit to believe that we are on welfare raw number wise more than anybody. So and you believe it because we pretty much live amongst each other, and the media highlights that, propagates it. So you're on so we think that we believe it, and it's a lie repeated so often without being debunked becomes the truth. So we're believing like we are the main ones on welfare. And then when some stats came up, it showed white tea people. We like, what? Wait, that can't be right. The welfare queen, wasn't she a black woman? Like, wait a minute. And we like, wow, wait a minute. So like they were trying to get us to not take advantage of these assistant programs where it's all for them, right? And then the recent arrivals. Okay? They were trying to discourage us from taking advantage of these programs to be successful, to help a good starting point where they can have it for themselves and the people who they invite to this country. That was some slick stuff. That's some slick gaslighting. Condemn us. Oh, you're lazy, you're on welfare, blah, 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 blah. Folks, you SNAP, you need government, or you need housing. You need all these loans. Oh man, you terrible. Just get it from the mud. Pull your bootstraps. So they gaslit us. And guess who helped promote that chant? The Pan-Africans. The Pan-Africans were saying, hey, you don't need those programs. You don't need government at all. go ahead and just do for self. That was a Pan-African talking point. Go do for self. Wait, but there's no proof of concept that anybody in this country was successful from like abstaining from government assistance. So I'm gonna bring you to Dr. Claude Anderson, family. I highlighted this before. I'm gonna do it again. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and invite my TikTokers. 1 second, family. And this is one of those lives where somebody could be a little long-winded because I'm gonna be in and out. You feel me? But I'm like, get a TikTok account and help that girl be long-winded as long as you want, and it's all good. But nobody wanted to come support TikTok. It's like everybody's stagnant and complacent. So I'm like, am I talking to the wrong audience? Am I talking to a bunch of grumpy old people that don't want to change, don't want to be revolutionary minded, stuck in their ways? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm talking to the wrong audience. All right, hold on. Let me invite TikTok to the building. I hate the map. Yo, TikTok, they just you go on, they always blast you a video. At least Instagram, IG, when it's a video, it's automatically on mute. You got to unmute the video. I don't know what that's about. TikTok just blasts videos. All right. I have no idea what that's about. Everybody's on welfare because you can't be successful in this country without government assistance. That's why the rich, they want tax incentives, right? They want this, they want that. They get it. That's government. Government is deciding how much taxes they pay. That's government assistance. So they're arguing for this tax break. That's government intervention. Deciding, look at this gerrymandering happen right now. That's government assistance. Yeah. So they try to gaslight us to not take advantage of government assistance, government programs. And yeah, now look, so I had a whole debate on welfare, like with a dude. So the debate was whether government assistance is good or bad for black people. I said it's good when you use it the way it's supposed to be used. And my opponent, a black nationalist, said it was bad. We debated. He didn't do well at all. He got very emotional, like most people do. And then, like a year or so later, at that time, we wasn't like AI, ChatGPT wasn't really popping like it is right now. So I think I just started to use it then. Like I'm talking about brand new, but I didn't know how to use it correctly. So anyway, looking forward now, me and that guy was on the phone, right? I know him personally. So we were talking about, recapping our debate a year ago. So he said he won. I said I won. So I'm like, it got to be a way where, because I was going to, I'm like, well, if the chat graded, the chat might say I won because they don't know him, so that they're biased, whatever. Or he might think that. So I said, it got to be a way where we can have a neutral, unbiased judgment. So then the epiphany, bing. I said, let me run it through AI. I ran through AI family and I said, hey, judge this based on how debates are judged, arguments, evidence, irrelevant stuff, logical fallacies, all that stuff. I say, hey, what, like somebody's off the point, straw man. I said, judge it the way you would judge, or how judges judge real debates. Family, I got like an 8.5 out of 10. He got like a 3. Wipe them off the map. So we're gaslit to believe welfare is terrible when everybody that comes to this country that's not well off, all of them start off on welfare. So all of those immigrants that you see are doing successful right now, all those businesses, they all started on welfare. So welfare is a great tool when it's used correctly. It's for people who are down. It's not for people who are doing well. Welfare is for people who are in emergency need of help. That is a stepping stone to keep you afloat. Without welfare, you will be homeless, no food, starving, and cold. Okay? Welfare provides you with a house over your head or some type of something, shelter, something, hotel, and then it gives you SNAP, it gives you food, sometimes cash benefits if you qualify for TANF. Okay? Then you got housing. Then eventually you get government housing, right? But without that, and that's a head start. So now if you got aspirations to be great, then you're going to take that head, you're going to use that head start and then go further. So also welfare helps you with job training, right? It pays for job training. It does a lot of things. A GED, high school diploma, well, GED, some advanced trades training. It does sometimes when resources are there. So yeah, so if you want to be great and you are in an emergency need of help, welfare will be that step to keep you afloat until you get your life together. Then you get off welfare. Okay? You take what you got, you take what you attain from that point and you go be great. Either work somewhere or get a do your own business, whatever, do your own self-work. But that's what it's for. It's to help you stay afloat until you can figure out your life. Then you get off. It wasn't meant for you to stay on there. That's not why it was meant. Okay, so it's a tool like a wrench. Like after I take the screw off, the bolt off with the wrench, right? I put the whatever away, I put the tool away. I don't walk around the planet with the tool in my hand still with the wrench. It's a tool for a desired project, for a desired idea. Then you put the tool away. You don't keep the tool in your pocket or in your hand. So welfare and a lot of these programs are tools that you're supposed to put away once you solved a problem, once you completed a project. You put the tool away. So who would say, hey man, you had to use a wrench to take that bolt off. I used my teeth. Like who would do that? Yeah, that's why you ain't got none now. I'm gonna use this wrench. And look, I'm done. See ya. And that's what's happening, family. Like we are being gaslit to take the bolts off with our teeth and not use a wrench. When people say welfare is terrible, that's what's happening. Meanwhile, everybody that comes to this country that's in need of help, all of them are trying to qualify for welfare. All of them. Okay. So, but again, like we I ain't gonna say they, we are continuously being miseducated to go the wrong way, to deny assistance or to accept a behavior that's not conducive. All right. So I'm gonna play a short video of Dr. Claude Anderson. What he said about government. Now, this is what I do. Right. This is what I do. So I'm gonna play a short clip of Dr. Claude Anderson talking about government, and then Yvette Carnell, a small clip of her talking about how we're being gaslit to turn away opportunity that's there to level up if you're in need of it. We're not saying quit your 9 to 5 making 80 grand a year to get on welfare. No, we're saying if you're down and bad and you cannot hold yourself up, that's what these programs are for. That's what charities are for. That's what the churches are for. It's to help you up. The food cabinets are for. The food cabinets are not for people who don't need it. You see? All right. Now this Dr. Claude Anderson clip was not part of my program, but a lot of times I freestyle, family, because it just happens when you're well researched. When you're well researched, sometimes something might come to mind. You're talking about one thing, something comes to mind, and you can use that thing. All right, so I'm going to show this. It might be already there. Okay, now keep in mind, media had made us feel bad for accepting government assistance, while whitey people have never went without it. Whitey people never went without government assistance. I'm talking about never. I can date all the way back to the 1862, the Homestead Act. They always were given welfare. These successful whites you see today that we smile at, oh, we got a nice car, nice house, welfare. Government, some form of government assistance, either trickled down from their ancestors, but that's still the same. Still the same. So they either directly or indirectly benefited from government assistance. Almost every white person you see, no matter how wealthy they are, either slave labor was passed down to them, the money for slave labor, or government assistance. None of them ever done anything for themselves and got out the mud and be successful from scratch. Nobody, matter of fact, nobody but Black Americans. Nobody got out the mud from scratch in this American society, right? I wouldn't count the indigenous people because they're outside of the system. I'm talking about those that operate within the system. Okay, the American system, we are the only ones with nuance that got it from the mud and was excluded from government assistance almost all of our existence. They made it very hard for us to get. Look, if welfare is so bad, then why did they go out their way to get us out of it? Remember the Man in the House Act? Family, do y'all know the only people in the United States who went through that was us? Where they checked your house to see if a man was there. We're the only people to have gone through that. Okay? Nobody else. Hispanics are able to keep, man and woman together, family together. Whitey people, Africans, Haitians, whoever. We're the only people where they said, hey, if that's a man in the house, okay, you're disqualified. Yo, just go Google it. Go Google if Hispanic couples are allowed to be together as they receive welfare. You know how I know? Well, I know anyway, but I work for a property management company, and I seen they was on welfare, and they were a family. I'm wait a minute. What the? Like, I was seeing married people on paper together on welfare and being put up in these luxury apartments. I'm like, I thought you had to be single or no man. No ma'am, no sir. That was exclusively for Black Americans. We're the only people that went through that. Okay? So if welfare was so bad, then why have they went out their way to deny us? As a matter of fact, right now, it's nearly impossible for a Black American to collect welfare right now. They're gonna run you through all hoops and loops and holes. Look that up. Just go Google. Do Black Americans have a hard time collecting welfare on average compared to other people in America? So if welfare was such a negative thing, then why do white people go out their way to deny us? So when I say welfare, don't forget that's a government assistance program like other things. So welfare is another form of government assistance. The Homestead Act of 1862 was a form of government assistance. That's welfare. The HOLC, the FHA, the New Deal, all these bailouts are welfare. Fannie Mae, Fannie Mac, that bailout, welfare. The pandemic loans and PPP, welfare. That's government assistance. Now, did people say, "Nah, I don't want that PPP loan. I'm gonna start from scratch, man. I'm gonna start all over"? No, they went and got that PPP loan. Okay, and some of them are doing better than ever now. So don't let people gaslight you, man. Trick you out of your spot. But they don't want to hear this. They rather a back and forth. They rather me call people names and somebody call me names. That's what folks want to hear. Nobody want to know, like, be educated and then know something to be really smart. People want to sound smart, but nobody really want to be smart. All right, and that's been a problem for a long time. Okay. So I want y'all to hear Dr. Claude Anderson on government. Okay. Okay. All right. Check this out.
That's why you have such a major thrust from the National Rifle Association. That's why they're controlling most of your politicians. That's why you have such a major anti-governmental effort in this country. You hear people say, we want to go back to states' rights. We are anti-government. We want to get rid of the federal government. It's not that they're against government. They know that in history, the only people who've ever saved black folk has been the government, twice, the federal government. And if you eliminate the federal government by downsizing the government, black folk no longer have an ally. And if a clash occurs, you got nobody to come to the rescue a third time to help you. You see, you were pulled out of slavery by the federal government. You were pulled out of Jim Crowism by the federal government. There are contingencies in the country that says the next time there won't be a federal government to pull blacks out. And you hear them talk about their anti-government, that's what they're talking about. They're not against government. And later on you hear me tell about why they're not against government. Because you see, primary wealth in this country, the primary responsibility of government is to move wealth and to move power. And that's how the dominant society got its wealth and its power, by using government.
Talk to me. I'm him. That's how white tea people got power and money and resources. He just said that's 2021. I'm sorry, that's 2001 Powernomics speech. 2001. 25 years ago, Dr. Claude Anderson said, they're not anti-government. They are pro-government. Because that's how power is shifted, through government. Who accesses government? He says that they got their wealth and power through the government. Right? The government provides tax breaks, tax incentives, PPP loans, welfare, SNAP, low housing, affordable housing. That's government. When Donald Trump was rolling back some government stuff, you see Elon Musk get upset. Rich people, that's all they do is go to the government for tax breaks and loans and all type of stuff, man. But you're gaslit to believe government assistance, government programs are terrible. You should do it for yourself. And we were inspired by Pan-Africans with that dumb, that silliness, that silly talk. Nah, I'm gonna go. I don't like banks. I ain't gonna get no loan. Then see, you're in debt. All this plebiscite babble. You're in debt, and I ain't trying to be in debt. So I'm gonna get my own thing, and I'm debt free. And I'm debt free, and all this. Man, be quiet. The richest people on this planet went into debt to get rich. Broke dude behind on mortgage payments talking about, nah, I don't want to be in debt. See, I ain't going, what you talking about, fool? If we gonna both get a business, right, and it costs $12,000 to start a business, let's just hypothetically say both of us are going to open up a donut shop. You on the east end of the state, I'm on the west end of the state. It takes $12,000 to get it popping, right? Both of us got zero funds, but we start at the same company at the same time, same day, and we get paid the same rate. So everything's equal. So you would think, well, we'll both have $12,000, right, to start the company. But what if I get a loan as soon as I verify my employment with the bank, and I get the loan, and like let's say hypothetically, it's going to take us. We're only going to save the most we could save is $2,000 a year. So that's going to take me 6 years to get to $12,000, right? Because I don't want a loan. I don't want to go in debt. But your employment was verified once you got hired by the bank, and within a month, the bank gave you $12,000. So now you got a 6-year head start. 6 years later, I finally get my 12 grand saved up. I start my donut shop. Now 6 years, so 12 years later, who do you think is more prosperous? The person who had to come get it from the mud with their own money, who's 6 years late, or the person who saved all of their money and got the bank loan 6 years early? Yeah, so some of y'all sound crazy. All right, so now that's Dr. Claw breaking down government. Nobody, these white people ain't anti-government. They anti-government when they think it's favoring you. That's why he said 2 times the federal government came through and saved black people. All right, 1 was the Civil War, and 2 was the Civil Rights Movement. Okay, and both times white people was against government at that time. So they're pro-government. They're anti-government when they believe it's going to help you. We're talking about reparations. The government entertains it. Guess who's all of a sudden anti-government again? The government blocks it. Guess who's now pro-government? Everything is about what can help you. If something can help you, they're anti it. If something doesn't help you, they're pro it. Delineation helps you, they hate it. I love TikTok shop. They HATE it. Okay. Reparations helps you, right? Guess who doesn't approve? See? That's a simple formula. If it helps you, they're against it. If it doesn't help you, they don't mind. That's a simple formula. What's going on? Introduce yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you state your name for the chat?
My name is Justin.
Okay.
I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
I'm talking about your screen name. Your screen, not your real name. Your screen name.
Oh yeah, Jaden.
Okay. There you go.
So basically, I had man, I love your content as far as on
Thank
YouTube. As far as Unbiased Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love your content. But far as I know, man, you got into it with like somebody from Mississippi, like it was the other day or something like that. And I think the dude was talking about like far as Indian and far as tribes and stuff like that. Dealing with like it was something, but he didn't want to stay this town.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't want to stay
Yeah. I remember the cosplaying guy. Yep.
And I'll say far as that, man, I'll say when it comes to that, man, I didn't agree with that too. So far as when you had said like when you said basically that he had dang, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. Hold on, let me think of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was gonna say basically when you had said basically like dang, when I had it was on my mind. Let me I might have to come back up and tell you about it, but I forgot I was gonna say on my mind, man. But like I said, I love your content.
Yeah, because I'm interested in that, because sometimes you could feel like you're right in the moment, right? But then when you sleep on it, you could say, you know what? Yeah, So, but I don't know what I said then to like sleep on it. So when you get ready, just let me know, and I'm interested to hear what you disagree with.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate you though. All right, so until you do that, I'm going to so let me know. I'll look out for the invite thing. But I'm gonna okay. Nah, I got you. I'm gonna bring you down right now.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, so now I'm gonna play Yvette Carnell dealing with the same thing, government. Like we're being tricked in our face. Like we're being played with. Okay? People who look like us, people who don't look like us, people from the lineage, people that's not from the lineage, they're playing with us. Check it out.
They should be able to go over here so they don't be in danger. It wasn't for that. It wasn't, well, why did we have black school for it? No, we were trying to get resources for our schools because we understood the separate but equal never was equal. So once you understand that, when you understand that, hey, our stuff, we're not getting anything and they're getting everything. We're getting plundered. We're getting looted and they have everything.
So keep in mind when she's saying they're getting everything and we're not getting anything, she's talking about black and white, obviously. But she's saying getting things from the government, programs, assistance, tangibles. She's saying we're realizing we're not getting anything from the government. So separate but equal, people who are into separation, you lose. You can't compete with people who are on the other side getting tangibles from the government. You can never compete with this government. I don't give a damn how many people come to one state. None of your hard work can ever compete with the money that this country generates. You'll always be behind the white man. You'll be worse because now you can't tap into none of the resources that our labor produced, by the way. All the resources in America, our labor got equity in. We got rightful ownership to all of the tangibles, resources, money in America. So why would we purposely eliminate ourselves from the money? Now you can have it. We're gonna start from scratch. These folks had free labor for 250 years, but you're gonna start from scratch like you'll ever catch up. Gotta wake up, man. Gotta wake up.
You say, I want resources for this school. When you do the interview, Malcolm Gladwell pulled a great part of an interview from a woman who was one of the initial claimants in terms of education, and she said, Nat Brown, she said, listen, we loved our school. That was not the issue. Nobody was trying to get next to white folk. People were trying to be free. There should not be a case if I'm driving at night, there are places where I cannot stop and use the bathroom because this exists.
So people gaslight us and try to act like integration was about living in white neighborhoods or to the white man. That's false. Integrating the resources and the money that our labor produced. Okay, we got finessed and trick bag to believe it was about living in close proximity to whiteness, which we didn't do anyway. But it was more than that. Like she said, I'm in my country. There's a public place, restaurant in my country. My taxes help uphold, that town. They're getting tax breaks, tax incentives for my money. I live in this state, this city, and I can't stop and use the bathroom, especially in a public building. Private, different, because that man owns that. But a public building, public buildings are ran by public buildings are financed by your money, your tax money. That means that's why it's public. It belongs to the public. Everybody can use it. Everybody has access to it. A public park, you got access to. Every American citizen has access to a public park. A public library, you got access to it. A public court, you got access to any and everything public. That's what the First Amendment. That's what the First Auditor, First Amendment auditor videos are about. They're highlighting that the things you have access to, you're being denied right in your face. So they make those First Amendment auditor videos to show you, like, look, they're denying you of your constitutional rights. As an American citizen, you are allowed to do certain things where your money is the reason why those things exist. That's why a police officer is called a public servant. All right, Jay Dent.
Okay. But yeah, I had finally remember what it was. But basically you were saying, like, far as, the dude don't represent, all Mississippians. But then at the same time, when you had said basically that he is from Mississippi, I was like, man, we not even last in education no more, bro. That was like propaganda from like 15, 20 years ago. And I'm like, bro, we far as, one of the blackest states in America. So I'm like, man, like, I kind of took it as a little shot. I was like, man, dang, bro. I mean, we got a good black American population down here. And it's like, dang, man, y'all look at, other people from other states, y'all look superior towards us or something like that.
Wait, 1 second. Did you hear the part where I told him I went to school in Mississippi? I lived in Macomb, Mississippi.
Yeah, I remember you said that part, but I was like, it's like you kind of said it in a way of, oh, you did say he don't represent all Mississippians, right? But then at the same time, you had said basically, well, he is from Mississippi. I'm like, bro, like, we can have dumb people everywhere, fam. Like, one state.
Wait, hold on. Do you know why Southern states are much more poor than states in the West or the North? Tell me.
It's basically I know Mississippi, we depended too much on agriculture, and basically they depended too much on keeping black people down.
Oh.
And so yeah, that would really kept us very poor and stuff like that. That's why we're the poorest state in America.
Right, and also education. So the people, so the Southerners, the Confederates who ran, the Confederate sympathizers who ran Mississippi, they never invested in education. Like, they invested in free labor or cheap labor. This is why Southern states are behind, because the people who were running them didn't care much for education. They wanted labor. They wanted money. So as a result, Mississippians, when they get a little money, they usually leave the Southern states because the opportunities are not there. So states are supposed to incentivize their residents to stay, right? Tax breaks or right, but they don't do that, right? So they don't invest in the education. Now I know this. I researched the whole list. So what I'm saying is, in those deep Southern states, education is not high priority. Like, they don't put a lot of investment in their education like that. And also those who do attain education, once they graduate, they're out because those states don't provide opportunities to grow. So what I was saying to him was, yeah, it might have been like a little slight, and maybe I shouldn't have said it. But I was mad at him. Let's say that I was mad at him when I said it. So yeah, it was rude, but it was really for him. It wasn't for like Mississippians. It was really just for him. I was mad at him, but I was trying to not personally attack him. You feel me? I'm trying to like throw a shot, but not make it direct.
Okay. I understand, man. Like I said, I love your content, man. I felt slighted. I was like, bro, we both Black American. I'm like, man, we in the same game. So I'm like, man, y'all really look at yourself superior towards Mississippi Black Americans. It's like,
but
it was kind of like, I'm like, man.
Yeah, but that was my fault. Definitely. I apologize for that remark, because even when I said it, it didn't feel right. It felt a little weird, and I just kept it pushing. You feel me?
Okay. I mean, yeah, man. I accept the apology, man. It just, like I said, I try to make it seem, like, even though, like I said, we Black Americans, we all have the same wants and values. So like I said, I'll, even though, like I said, I know we a little different, I still see it as the same, and I know we in the same game, and we all trying to win.
Right.
So yeah, man. So yeah, man, I accept the apology, man. Like I said, I love your content, man. Keep on, going with the great work, brother, and yeah, man, just keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, like I said, my fault. I was trying to get at him, and I did that in the worst way because I ended up indicting all of Mississippi. All right, so yeah, I got to figure out a way to avoid that in the future.
Salute, brother.
All right, thank you.
Day, man.
Thank you for the. So you see how you were able to critique me and hold me accountable, and I didn't get emotional. I didn't act like I was right. I accepted responsibility. I accept accountability, and I even apologize. See, and that's growth. Like that's what we need to do. But that's called a youthful spirit. Okay, when we're 40 years old and older, we need to maintain a youthful spirit. A youthful spirit accepts correction, criticism, accountability. Old spirits don't. All right, brother. Thank you. I'm drop you down. Yes, sir. Yeah. So you see, there you go. He's right. I did. Again, I was mad at him, and I was trying to like throw a shot at him personally, but I'm also trying not to throw a shot personally because people are gonna say, "Hey, you're personally attacking. You're emotional." So I end up indicting Mississippians as a whole over this clown. And by the way, he was one of those Arawak Indian tethers who was trying to backdoor his way into the lineage. He was being very disingenuous. And I got mad at him and I made a remark that indicted Mississippi as a whole. Yeah, so my fault. I got to work on that. Matter of fact, I'm just going to call him out then. All right, I'm just going to be direct with that guy. All right, so let me get back to Yvette Carnell and the government, how we are being gaslit to be tricked out of our spots. Listen.
Should not be a thing where Jim Crow and racists get to steal from me, right? Get to take my money, and I don't have any rights. So I'm a sharecropper. He gonna pay me what he give me, and whatever. I don't have any rights. If I try to say something, lynchings. That should not be. We didn't have any rights. That's civil rights. Now, I don't even like the term because civil rights are for everybody. I like right now I'm focused on redress for us, but that's civil rights, David. Civil rights means that you're the sharecropper who is over the farm cannot come into the house, tell you to go outside and go in there and have his way with your wife. That happened during Jim Crow, David. So these is like the fight against segregation, because separate but equal never was equal, was, hey, we deserve what we deserve too. We deserve rights. We deserve resources. We are Americans too.
And by the way, for my YouTube family, I'm going to take away all the wrenches just to give you the wrenches back, right? So if you see yourself without a wrench, don't trip. If you see yourself without a wrench, don't trip. Because I want to keep note who's really with me for real content like I'm doing right now, like without all the rah-rah and toxicity, without all the xenophobia and the divisiveness, and who's with me for the wrong reason. So I'm going to de-wrench everybody. So don't worry about that. But I'm gonna give you guys all wrenches. So when FBAs come along and they don't have a wrench, I know that especially like let's say late June. If I see the FBA late June without a wrench, I know that they were not rocking with me for a whole month because they would have had a wrench. So that's where I'm at, family. I'm trying to find out who's really down with the lineage, you feel me, like for the right reason, and who's here for entertainment. So right now I'm gonna take away everybody wrench just to give you guys your wrench back. So to get your wrench back though, here's the trick. To get your wrench back, you gotta chat, because if you don't chat, I don't see you, I can't wrench you. So just keep chatting, but I'm taking away all the wrenches because I want to know who left and who stayed. Okay, if that makes sense.
That's what it was. It was not to get next to white folk. Why do y'all keep thinking that? And I know how people talk all the time about we had black business back then. We had black business, but you didn't really have a customer base because they were all poor. Let me bring up something. So this is black poverty rate, 1959 versus today. Today is still way too high, but 55.1% poverty is a lot of poverty. Right? So you can't say this is how we messed up. See, Negroes love to just talk about a solution that can't nobody do because it gives you permission to be lazy. If I say, hey, we just gotta do this. This is what we gotta do. All we gotta do is get back to Jim Crow. All we gotta do is get back to segregation. We never integrate. Well, that's not gonna happen, but it gives you a way to have your barbershop talk. Well, it did never do nothing for us. Look at that poverty rate and tell me nothing happened good after that. Look at that and tell me. Now, we know we should have got reparations by now. We all know that. We all know discrimination. We all watching Trump roll this stuff back. But don't tell me that we did not get something from it. See, the thing that King understood is what happened to the teachers after there was integration. They weren't trying to, our people were not trying to get away from these little Negro schools. That's not what happened. But guess what they did? Racists are diabolical. So guess what they did? They said, okay, you want to be able to go wherever you want to go? We're going to bring you in, let you go to these schools, and we're going to close your schools down, and we're going to fire your teachers. We're going to bring you into a hostile environment. You want to be free? We're going to bring you into a hostile environment where these women teachers hate you and they throw stuff at you and they don't want you to come into school. We're going to do that to you. That's not what we're trying to do. You want to. And we wanted to keep our teachers. They fired them. That's not what we wanted. It was actually the NAACP that made it about integration as opposed to just resources. That was a legal move. That's not what they were trying to do. They weren't just trying to be next to white folk, but they were saying, white folk, you don't get to treat me differently. You don't get to treat me less than. You don't get to give me less than you give somebody else. You don't get to not give anything to my school, because if schools exist and are run off tax dollars, you don't get to take even my money and give everything to the little white children, and my children don't have nothing. And we don't make enough. Nobody in this country does, just to not have government do nothing for us. David Banner don't make enough for government just to do something. Right? For us to just, we don't need no government. No, everybody needs government. And everybody takes advantage of government. So these are things, I'm tired of these kinds of tropes. And every time I hear it, I do a show about it. Because it's just that stupid. every time somebody brings it up, I'm like, oh, we gotta do another show because somebody talking stupid again. That's just what it is. I can't help it. Y'all remember Marissa Baradaran's book, The Color of Money, Black Banks, and the Racial Wealth Gap. We talk about a lot about how Nixon, right, used black capitalism to instead of saying you don't need no government. Now, mind you, giving all kind of government to white folk, but tell them you don't need no government. All you need to do is do business, right? You want to do business, right? Well, I want to take a quote from The Color of Money and just bring it up to you and just make a point real quick. Washington's program of building a segregated black business economy was exactly the agenda favored by the white Republican political establishment and Northern industrialists. Washington's critics even accuse him of being a leader created by white industrialists because he delivered them a subdued population of industrious laborers whom they could continue to exploit for profit. All Washington asked of whites was philanthropic support of his college, of his nonprofit educational institutions. And they delivered. Andrew Carnegie contributed $2,700 yearly to finance Washington's institutions. Oh, I thought y'all told me Washington was doing his own thing. He didn't need, I thought, wait a minute. Organizations and calling him the combined Moses and Jehovah of his people because he promoted good moral character and industrial efficiency, resulting in ownership of property. Now let me go to one more real quick. He also liked the fact that Washington was pursuing the wise policy of not pushing for the free and unrestricted vote immediately. One white booster admitted as much, praising Washington's conciliatory agenda because he believed Washington shall not threaten the Anglo-American supremacy. See, if you say all I want to do, I promise you, all I want to do is a little bit of business. I want to do good business. I don't want nothing from the government. I just want to do business. The racist will run for you and give you $1,000, $50,000, $75,000, $100. Yes, that's because that means you don't. Hey, I'm not even talking about Washington right now. Take it off of him. Take it right now. If you say, listen, I want to just go build a little city. I'm gonna call it little Negro town. And I don't want nothing. I want to be a little school. They will say yes, absolutely, because they understand that don't do nothing. They understand that you building that little thing and saying you don't really want nothing. You don't want nothing but a little bit of charity. And you don't really want the vote, and you don't really want institution. They understand. Oh, hot diggity doggone. You don't want nothing. Wait a minute, you telling me you don't want no, because they understand the government picks winners and losers. They understand the bailouts and things like that. They understand schools and big funding for school. They understand that. If you want to come and say you don't want it, go have at it. I'll give you all the philanthropy I can afford. They love it when you say, I just want us to own our own institutions, do for ourselves. Oh, white folk don't, oh, they love to hear that. That's all you want. You don't want to make any demands of this government that has trillions on trillions on trillions of dollars because, listen, war is a racket. We've talked about how war is a racket, right? We talked about that. Now, if war is a racket and billionaires are made, Trump just went in the government and stole everything but the kitchen sink. He trying to pay the January 6th people reparations. We talked about it on the Patreon show the other day. He trying to pay them reparations and then use that to give himself a whole bunch of money. His son came in with $200 billion in assets in his company, and now he had $3 billion. They robbing America blind, looting everything. And y'all want to say, I just want to be somewhere by myself. What you said, David Banner? I just want to be, see, we should have never came in here. We here. Ain't no coming here. After you get sold over, ain't no coming here. He said, see, if somebody live in your house and they don't ever leave, do you respect them? This ain't white folk house. We built this country. You got a lot of Irish and a lot of Italian, Jewish people. All these people came after us. How we were here before a lot of these, unless you were the people who brought our ancestors over on them ships. Even in that case, we coming at the same time. You didn't come here before me. How you come after me and from the poorest parts of Europe? From a potato famine, and this is your house, and it's not my house. Y'all sound crazy to me. This is not white folk house. This is our house. We're being mistreated in our own home. That's what's happening. It's not your house, not their house. I hate a barbershop analogy. If your house, if somebody came into your house and no, this is our house. We came before all of these waves of impoverished immigrants, European immigrants. We were here before them. Our house, David, our house. And we deserve everything that comes inside of that house. And you waxing nostalgic about way back yonder and what should have happened. And see, the other thing is, here's the other thing. If Tulsa didn't get reparations, Tulsa race massacre, when a white mob, violent mob came in and not only killed the main people, but also came in and robbed them and took all their furniture and everything and plundered their wealth. If they never got reparations, what are you going to build? Well, what do you mean, Yvette? Well, you have to punish mobs that come in and destroy your community. Because if not, there's nothing stopping them. There's no impediment if they don't go to jail and they don't get their money taken. They don't get their citizenship stripped. Something like and we don't get reparations. There has to be a cost to harming us. There's no cost, so you can go build whatever you want to build, and they can plunder it all over again. Because there was no cost to what happened. January 6th was they about to get reparations, and we still haven't got it. Everybody got it except us. We chasing Holocaust reparations around the globe right now. The Congressional Black Caucus helped Japanese Americans get reparations. But you gonna tell me that, oh, you bet they ain't gonna never do that. They ain't gonna never give you nothing. They gonna never, we just gotta build our own. We built our own. They burned it down. And I didn't see you over there helping with it. I don't see none of y'all who talk about we gotta build our own over there standing 10 toes down with the Tulsa massacre. Rest in peace, Paula Fletcher. With the victims of the Tulsa race massacre. I don't see it. What was the collective outrage when the people who did build their own had their own theaters, drug stores, everything, had their own everything. White folks burned it down. I didn't see all of y'all over there saying, hey, we're fighting for this. When they were suing during the Obama administration, y'all didn't say, Obama, you the first black president. Why don't you get busy? Y'all told me I was asking too much of him. So where are you now? Because if you don't get reparations, you don't force redress from these people who have done this stuff to us, they're going to do it again. People learn through punishment. Reward and punishment is a thing. They have not been punished for their crimes, David. So stop talking about what we didn't do. Listen, and that was like, this is in the 1920s they're building this thing. Okay, we segregated. We're going to go over here and have our and build our things ourselves. We're going to go over here and do it. They tried to do it. And people, listen, our success has always triggered hatred from white races. I would even go even further. Our success and our joy triggers something in them that says, let's go maim them and burn it down. There has to be something that guards against that. And that thing has to be government. That thing has to be government. That's the reason why the survivors, while the smoke was still billowing in the air, the first thing they did, the attorneys who were on Black Wall Street, the first thing they did was go and file lawsuits. And nobody did anything. And I haven't even seen y'all upset. Y'all just want to show up on all these little podcasts and talk trash. I haven't seen y'all we should have had a march. We should have had another march on Washington because of how the Tulsa race victims were treated. Massacre victims. We should have. People just like to talk, man. It's a lot of talking that goes on in this community. Just a lot of talk.
How you doing? Hello? Did you mean to come on?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Everything that's being said.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I stay alive and make a video.
Oh yeah, I always do. Yeah, so if you follow me, I got the same name on YouTube. So right now I'm streaming on both simultaneously. So the archive, the copy will be saved on YouTube as we're recording. So yeah, so my name is Unbiased Ron. My channel is FBA News and Updates, the same as TikTok. So everything I do is on that channel because that's why I don't go to TikTok Spaces because they don't save it.
Oh, I had no idea.
They don't save it. So I don't talk just to talk. Right. I talk to spread information. So I would like to use what I said on my own platform. So that's why I don't join no more TikTok Spaces. I'm good with them.
Okay. Out on
YouTube, FBA News and Updates. Yeah, and follow me here. I'll follow you back.
Okay.
All right. Have a great one.
See, you have to be, the problem with integration is that it didn't go far enough. We were not integrated into the wealth of this country. Rights and resources. Resources and rights. You need both of them. I'll give you an example. This is also from the book. And if you haven't read the book, David, you should read the book. We read it for a book club a long time ago. And the author called in. It was really great. The Color of Money, Black Banks, and the Racial Wealth Gap. After creating the Federal Reserve, President Wilson and the 64th Congress passed the Federal Farm Loan Act of 1916 for the express purpose of increasing credit to rural family farmers. The act established the Federal Farm Loan Board to administer the loans, 12 federal farm loan banks, and national farm loan associations, established groups of 10 or more mortgage holding farmers. The bill reduced interest rates on farm loans across the South and made credit much more accessible. This bill was the first federal government loan program, and thanks to Southern senators, it left black farmers out. The legislators created loopholes and the provisions to exclude blacks and left the program to be administered in local offices in the South with significant discretion given to local bureaucrats in lending, which effectively meant that blacks would not be given loans. See, the problem isn't that we don't do stuff off by ourselves. The problem is that we live in a country that has decided that it will not fully include us. The problem is not that we did it by ourselves and you burn it down. How many times? How many towns? Right? How many areas? How much plundering? How much stealing? How much land theft? We know about the great land theft too. How much stuff did you steal from us during Jim Crow? Because we didn't have no rights. We were fighting for rights and resources. Resources and rights. Don't forget that. Nobody was fighting because they thought, oh, the white man water is better. No Negro has ever thought that. It's a few, but I mean, for the most part, ain't nobody thinking that. The problem is this country has not included us in the way that it should include us as full citizens. And so we were fighting to not be second-class citizens. Nobody wants to be second-class citizens, especially when you built the country. There's no America without American chattel slavery. There just isn't. It would not exist. There is nothing. We are the most freedom-loving people in this country. So yes, you do not have a right to have your way with me. Deny me resources. Deny me rights. Deny me the. Was not about. It was like you can't segregate us no more. This is not fair. You cannot make me go to the back door of anything. It wasn't saying, and the reason we don't have more. Listen, people always say we had black business back then. No, not really. You had some because it was born out of suffering. It was born out of necessity. But you can have something and it not be born out of that. We don't have to have the bad thing happen to us for us to do the big thing. We just need the wealth. Right? Because these people were still selling to poor people. And they were not allowed loans. They were not given grants. They were not given what happened to the Chinese people after the Chinese Exclusion Act. They were allowed to and help to start all these Chinese food restaurants. That's where that comes from. We were never given that. That is the issue. The issue is that they decided to lock us out. That black business that had all those poor customers, it was never going to scale. It was never going to be McDonald's. It was never going to be that. Because the banking system has locked us out. And then the government locked us out because of the Dixiecrats and all those people. So we were locked out. On every level. That's the problem. So to say the problem isn't a bunch of people with pennies is just a bunch of people with pennies. The government has made a bunch of people millionaires through time. They have inheritance now. There's no tax on inheritance. So now they're able to pass it to their kids tax-free, and they have locked us out. That is the issue. Stop thinking about it that way. People have to stop this. At a certain point, everybody got to grow up. And I want to give you another story. Y'all remember this is from the Steal from the Color Money. Y'all remember this. Y'all remember Bingo he started a bank. And I want to talk to you about those of you who did the book club, just bear with me about how the bank closed. Bingo used all means available to him to save his bank and his customers. Okay, this is the crash. This is the depression. Deposits, including lending the bank his own money. So this is an Adolph's man. He got a bank, started a bank. I'm gonna lend this my own money, and I want to keep this bank open. The balance sheets of Binga's bank from 1929 and 1930 reveal that the bank held $800,000 worth of home loans in default. He reached out to the Chicago Clearinghouse for a short-term loan from the fund he helped build. Right? from the fund he helped build, but the board rejected his request. One member of the clearinghouse later explained that during one meeting, the chairman had referred to Binga's bank as a little N-word bank that does not mean anything. See, let me just finish reading. It was the first closure of a member of the Chicago clearinghouse in 20 years. All the other banks that belonged to this clearinghouse were given aid and survived the Great Depression. W.B. Du Bois noted that the Bankers Association could have saved the bank and saved it easily without loss or prospect of loss. Yet the Binga Bank was allowed to fail because the owners and masters of the credit facility of the nation did not care to save it. Binga was not the kind of man they wanted to succeed. They're picking winners and losers here. On July 31st, 1930, Illinois bank auditors closed Binga's bank and his depositors lost most of their savings. So they did all this in one swoop. Understand what they did. They got rid of a black bank that was just like all the other white banks, operating more efficiently. Why? It's a little N-word bank. Who cares? That's why we fail, not because we do anything wrong. And that's what we're talking about when we say separate but unequal. They are responding. You can't have equal protection, civil rights, David. You cannot have a country that responds to white folk one way and us another way and says, we don't care, let that bank fail because they don't even want competition from us. When you wonder why we're unable to compete, that's why. He lost all his money. Then the people who were in his bank lost all their money. So this is our life. Always having to start back from square one. Ain't nothing wrong with us. Ain't nobody lazy. It don't have nothing to do with segregation. It has something to do with the people who have decided that, hey, they're going to fail. And when you fight for rights, what we're fighting is to say that you can't do that. Not to us. And that's what King was fighting for. He understood, though, this country. He understood how evil this country was. He understood how racist it was. So I have no doubt that he would see, hey, I might be integrating my people into a burning house because that's what America is. But we cannot succeed when you bail out every white bank and you don't bail out this ADOS bank just because the man is ADOS. You cannot succeed that way. The rules have to be fair. Civil rights, equal protection under the law. That's what it is. That's what we're fighting for. And some people don't want to fight that fight. They want to just imagine themselves as God on a throne or kings on a throne somewhere in a country that is all ADOS. And that is just a fantastical illusion. Some of y'all live in the world of illusion all the time with your barbershop talk. Can't even go to a barbershop. Gotta let my hair grow long because people are stupid. And they just say the stupidest things and they have the stupidest little fantasies. We were locked out. We were intentionally locked out every time we gained some traction, every time we got some money, because the people who control America are racist. And we were saying, and we have said, our whole fight has been, you cannot do this to us. You cannot keep doing this to us. You cannot keep us destroying our wealth, destroying our banks. You cannot keep doing that to us. And if I didn't see you outside fighting against what happened in Tulsa, I don't want to see you now. And you destroyed the man too. Let me show you. The bank's failure bankrupted Binga too. But that was the least of his problem. His wife filed for divorce and Binga was indicted for embezzlement of funds. The charge was that he had deposited the $39,000 he had raised for his second bank into a personal account. Binga defended himself against the charge, explaining that state laws did not allow capital funds for a national bank to be held in a state bank. After a jury testimony from 80 witnesses, they could not reach a verdict. The state's attorney immediately prepared for a second trial and this time won a conviction in November 1933. Binga was sent to prison. According to recorded history, this made Binga the only banker in the entire country who was sent to prison for the financial crime during the Great Depression. You cannot prosper. You cannot prosper, ladies and gentlemen, under this kind of oppression. The problem has always been them. It has never been us. They chased that man down. They made sure They were going to save every bank but the black bank. They made sure they were going to do it. And not only that, because of how evil and vile these people are, not only did they do that, they said, we're going to ruin this man too. We're going to convict him of something that he didn't even steal, not 1 cent, but we're going to convict him of a crime. We're going to ruin his bank. We're going to make sure the people who invested in his bank, those little Negroes, they're going to lose all their money, and we're going to send them to jail for trying. You will go to jail for trying to help other ADOS people. There was another great story about a man, I shared it back when I used to do the newsletter. That was a great story about a man who he actually had a bunch of money, business and stuff like that, land, all that kind of stuff. And he had so much money, he was loaning to white folk. That's how much money he had. One day he disappeared, right? Good wife said he's a good husband, all this kind of stuff. He disappears. The wife goes to the bank. Says, my husband is gone. I can't find him. I think something happened to him. I wanna know how much he has in his account. This is a man who had money. They said, oh, he don't have nothing in this account. He don't have nothing in this account. She knew he had something in that account. He had a bunch of money in that account. When she got to that bank, they said he don't have no money. Guess what happened? She committed suicide. A whole family, a whole lineage wiped out, destroyed because of white thievery, plunder. Jim Crow wasn't nothing but theft. That's all it was. It was stealing. It was graping. That's all it was. You cannot want to go back to that and say, well, we was better off than segregation. No, they were stealing from you. They were coming into your house, taking your wife, taking your daughter. That is not better. If you believe that it's better, you have a problem. There was a whole nother story of an ADOS woman in California, had a bunch of money. She had a white man as the face of her business because she knew. She used to work as a maid. She overheard stuff from a bunch of people who worked in stocks and real estate. She overheard them. She learned how to do it. She got a white man to be the face because she knew it couldn't be her. Then the white man died, and the white man's wife took her to court and said the business was his. She didn't have no part of it. She lost everything. And she used to give money to different kind of civil rights movement way earlier than the 1960s, 50s, 60s rights movement. You cannot, the board is not fair. When the board is fair, we win. If you give us a fair board and fair play and access to wealth, we win. They've never done that. They've never included us in that way. They have allowed people to steal from us. We have been a harvest group in this country for as long as I know. That, David, is what has to change. We should be fully included in the fabric of America, and we are not. And there are consequences to us not being included in the fabric of America. There are consequences to them being able to say, hey, I'm going to save every bank but the ADOS bank. One of the last black banks went under the Obama administration. There are consequences to these sorts of things. There are consequences when, hey, I can make an arbitrary decision. This is a little Negro bank. It don't need to. And the little Negroes who have their deposits, we don't care if they lose everything. Remember the Freedmen's Bank? Same thing. There has to be some sort of punishment for these people who plunder us, and there has to be some type of protection for us, for those who get plundered. That is the biggest problem. And I people who don't understand that, it's just really strange to me. Another quick quote. Because the dominant economy was taking place outside of the ghetto, its pull could not be resisted. This is what I'm talking about. When people talk about the dollar got to stay in the economy. No, it can't, because there's no money in the economy. Money's going to flow to the money, to the real money, not the little bits of money. Once in the banking system, money flows towards money. Just as the money multiplier circulated white advantage, the ghetto money trap circulated disadvantage. Because blacks were not home sellers, black banks did not have access to large deposits received in home sales. This led to the problem on economy. See, a bunch of pennies is still a bunch of pennies. They might make dollars, but they don't make trillions of dollars. They don't make billions of dollars. And it means ADOS banks are always volatile because they don't have no money. Bruh. Now, if those people had left Bingo alone, had left the Freedmen's Bank alone, had left all of our stuff alone and allowed us to grow and flourish, we'd be fine by now. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. There would be no racial wealth gap. If people had not stolen our land and done all this stuff to us, we wouldn't have no issue. What issue? We would have no problem. We would probably be better off than they were. We were more hardworking and expeditious. We'd be better off. We'd be great. The problem is every time we have been great, they have intervened to cause us to fail. And since they run the country, they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. And we have fought civil rights, David. We fought to say you cannot do that to us. We are citizens. We are humans. We are citizens, and we have rights that are protected under the law. You cannot run me off my farmland. Can't nobody come here dressed in no white hood and just hang somebody. The Equal Justice Initiative just posted again the story of the woman who she was her husband was hanged, and when she complained about it, she said she was gonna file a lawsuit. They hanged her and cut out her baby. Like that's segregation. That's Jim Crow. You want that back? What? He didn't have no rights that no white man was required to respect. You don't understand what King was fighting against? You don't understand what left him dead on that balcony? Hey, let me tell you something else. I don't want to talk to nobody who ain't willing to take the same risk that King took. If you're not willing to risk life and limb, I don't want to hear from you. If you're just willing to do barbershop talk at the podcast, I really don't want to hear from you. If you're not willing to risk your life, lights out, baby, I don't want to hear from you. There's too much talking going on. It's too much. Let this. Segregation was King should have worst thing integrate. Let that stuff go, because you just don't know what you're talking about, and you talk too much, and stupid people listen to you. I don't want to hear none of what you're talking about. Y'all want to go back to this? I'm just asking. I mean, this is sharecropping. This is when they tried to this is a photograph back from when they tried to do a protest. Right, and they got put off the land. Y'all want to go back to it? Come on, let's go on back to it now. Let's go on back to it. Let's go on back to being hungry, having worms and stuff. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to the average death being around 30-something years old. Go back to it, because let's talk about mortality too. Because segregation in that period didn't just cause a lack of Adolf's prosperity. It caused a short Adolf's life. Let's talk about how many babies died. We still have too much of that. But let's talk about outcomes. I never hear that when people start talking about segregation and how we were better off doing segregation, integration. I never people talk about what were the outcomes. They never talk about the poverty level back then and just desperate poverty. They never talk about they never talk about any of that stuff. It's just we were better off. I'm just saying. Let me see. Look like it's storming or something. What's going on? Was that a car light or? Let me check, y'all. You know, I'd be sitting up here talking to y'all and don't be knowing what's going on outside. But no, I never hear people talk about that kind of stuff. I just don't see it. I don't look too bad. I don't see it. Why we can't talk? I want to have a real talk. I want to talk about how the sharecroppers were treated. Let's go back right there. Y'all think it was just King walking around in suits and stuff. No, that's upper crust. Y'all think that's just all it was. Y'all think it was all because King and was dressed in the Sunday best and Malcolm looked good. Y'all think that's all it was. No. People are crazy. So what changed everything? Well, jobs, union access, because remember they used to keep us out of the unions. Kept us out of everything. I ain't never seen nothing like it. Right? They kept us out of everything. And let me also say one thing. We should go back and do for ourselves. I want to bring up the reductions in poverty came from civil rights legislation, industrial jobs. We had access. So when you put in anti-discrimination legislation, that means we have access to apply for jobs and all kinds of things too. We're not just sharecroppers and maids anymore, right? Remember, they didn't let us own no land. People got land stolen from them all the time. Access to unions, with great society programs, expanded education. Also, when people talk about Social Security. So you're going to go back. Who going to take care of your grandmama? I'm just saying this thing, we gonna go back and who gonna take care? Because remember, we used to not be included in Social Security legislation because of the Dixiecrats, because they controlled everything. They told us we wasn't included. They said carve out maids and field workers are not included. All right, so we just didn't get that for a long time. But now we have access to that.
I want you to
now Granny and Grandpa
right now.
can get a Social Security check.
Understand, overstand, and understand.
Are you gonna provide it for them? They don't get it. Like
right
what? No, let's walk this. I want to walk this through. Let's talk about this. How are y'all gonna do this? Like if you don't have no plan to do this, you're just gonna walk around and tell me what King and them did wrong. What are you talking to me for? Tell me how you are going to pay them whatever they get paid every month. I just want to know what your plan is, because you talk a lot. You gonna give them Medicare? Are you gonna give poor people Medicaid?
No. Bruh.
We already seen how Trump's cutting that. I'm just trying to figure out if you can talk to me about how problematic it is all you want. What are you going to do? Everybody want to talk about all the mistakes the civil rights leaders made. Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody gonna make mistakes. But what are you going to do? You can't do nothing but talk. That's all you can do. Because you can't make up for none of these government programs. And that's why we should fight for these government programs, because they're important. Fighting. These people, you know what's funny? The same people who would tell me you ain't never gonna get reparations believe that somehow we're gonna go back to a segregated world.
Stop the cap.
Or something. Like, and in terms of how we live very close to each other. Like, when you go into an ADOS community, it's usually an ADOS community. It's not like we are dispersed. We can't be dispersed because of housing discrimination, because of income. Why don't you talk about how to make our communities great? Why don't you talk about how to help us access wealth? Why don't we ever talk about something like that? Why don't you talk about how to deal with gentrification? Why don't I ever hear y'all talking about that kind of thing? Why we can't, when we talk about our communities and what's tearing them apart, gentrification is a big part of it. From Watts to DC, how 500 black neighborhoods vanished in 45 years. They didn't vanish because integration happened. They vanished for something else. Why? What are you doing to help that? You just want to sit around and talk about King and how that keep you up at night? David. No racial or ethnic group has experienced more negative impacts from gentrification than black people, according to researchers from the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, a coalition of 700 nonprofit organizations focused on directing resources to America's most vulnerable communities. As hundreds of black communities across the country have been gentrified since 1980, more than 500,000 black people have been pushed from their homes.
Hey, family, once again, I'm taking everybody wrench just to give it back. Only to those who are present today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have people earn their wrench. Now, a lot of you already earned your wrench, but I gave people wrenches as a gift because they was of the lineage. That's out. Because like these guys now, the wrenches are for people who ride with this channel. They not just ride, prefer this channel. You dig? So if they make this channel a preference, I'm wrenching those people up. Because you go to everybody else's channel, you ain't got a wrench. All right. So over here, those who are present to lives like this, I'm wrenching you up. But I'm gonna take it. I gotta take it away first, just to give it to you back, so I can know who was riding with me for, for the right reason, as opposed to those who were just coming over here for entertainment because they were bored, whatever. I don't want to wrench nobody up who comes over here because they're bored because they're other folks not around. Nah, a wrench going forward is something that's earned, no longer just a gift.
Neighborhoods, those same neighborhoods have seen more than 3 million new Latino, Asian, white residents, with cities like Atlanta, Washington, D.C., San Francisco witnessing entire neighborhoods transform in a single generation. If we're going to talk about doing something to help us keep our community, why don't we talk about fighting gentrification? I'm just saying real things. Why can't we talk about that? Perhaps no one has seen this more intimately than Tim Watkins. His Watts neighborhood, which was 2/3 black at the onset of the 1980s, is now 80% Latino. Over that same period, 92% of Los Angeles majority black neighborhoods that experience gentrification are no longer majority black. That is a greater percentage of black neighborhood loss than any other metro area in the nation. Washington is at a close second, losing 84% of its 55 majority black areas since 1980. 60 years later, we're in the rearview mirror, said Watkins, whose organization works to combat this black displacement through several housing, employment, and environmental initiatives. See, integration didn't say you had to move and be around white folk. That's not what it said. We can still have our own communities. We can still have our own space.
I've been arguing that. Like, nobody said we had to live around my Vix, did you mean to hop on?
Can't tell who's speaking. I could just see your bubble. I would like to see who's speaking because you're speaking so far.
Oh yeah, and I don't know how to share a screen on TikTok, but that was Yvette Cornell.
Oh yeah, she was going hard.
Oh yeah. Great, and yourself?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. So this was a deep. When I was watching this last night, I said I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this right here. So I stopped it, and I'm sharing it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's really deep and it's hitting all points. See, people are personality worshipers, right? They think only the person they like have all the information. I'm like, nah. Like, we are a lineage of inventors and innovators. All of us have the potential of dropping some deep information, right? Right. But so I'm showing that. I'm showing like information ain't gate kept by one person. We all have that. Right.
A very unintelligent standpoint to take on information, because they're going to hide it from you if they don't like you, and if you don't seek it, you'll never know it.
But guess what? And it shows. So when they finally hop on a panel, they sound like a fool. It's like, yo, I could tell you don't really listen to different people. Like, you listen to 1-2 people, and I could tell the way it's coming from that person. Like, and that's why they say we're an echo chamber, because we sound like one person only. You did, like, that's weird. That's weird as hell. Right.
Theory. I'm like, have you looked into some of these? That's just 2 or more people coming together for some other plan. It's not, everything is not like cliche.
Right.
So.
Right. So that's what I do. I show different people. It might be Dr. Phil or Phil Scott. It might be whoever. You know, it might be Ann Coulter. It might be a straight racist. I love TikTok shop Republican. But if the information is good, I'm gonna play it.
Oh, no shame. She started talking about us. She speaks in a way where it makes them upset and uncomfortable, and makes them like kind of forced to look at her perspective, because she's a white woman, quote unquote. You're supposed to listen to what she got to say in American hierarchy. But she be cooking sometimes.
And guess what? Now, don't forget, she is supposedly a racist, but she understands us and she speaks to it. But these folks who have the same skin as us won't say what she says, but she's the so-called racist and they're not. Like, stop it. Like, make it make sense. The math ain't mathing.
She was like, we owe black people.
Right.
Or like, you don't shut up, bitch. We hate you. Like, whatever.
Right.
Excuse me.
I love TikTok shop. Yeah. Yeah, facts. All right.
Tim Wise guy.
Yeah, Timothy Wise, yeah.
Timothy Wise. Give him a grain of salt too, because I'm like, okay, yeah, he's speaking facts, but he's talking to the same people who agree with him. I haven't seen him talking to any dissenters. If you fighting for us, I need you to go up against your people, like, head on. Go talk to them about it, because we know what you're saying. Right. It's like, that's the only reason why I look at allyship a little different. You have to cross the line and able to be a true ally to us. We can't see you being comfortable making a check off of it. We know what you're saying is true. Talk to them.
Right, great point. But that's what separates the Tim Wise from us. Like, we don't want to speak to FBAs only. We like, all right, FBA, move out the way. All you guys over there, come over here. Come close. I got something to say. We want all the smoke, and that's what makes us different than majority of the world. We don't want to just speak to the FBA audience. No, give us the FBA shills, give us the FBA conservatives, whoever, the doubters, the haters. Look, give us everybody. We want the smoke because we know what we're saying is true. What you're saying, what you just said. If Timothy Wise really believed in it, then he will bring it to those who disagree, and he will face that type of opposition, that controversy. But he dodges it. He runs from it, and that's what separates them from us. We don't dodge controversy.
You get then you on the ground.
Right. Right.
But I feel like we're the pivot to where only the ones who get it. We're not pulling. I don't think we should be pulling anybody into the fold anymore. You had enough time. You're old enough to do the research, to do the work, to see what we're doing. And I keep hearing a lot of people saying we need leaders. They all got. You know what happened to them? We don't. We just need to be on one accord, moving for what we say we need, or we need to just be leaving everybody alone. Those two things to me is a good strategy for us. We cannot keep on trying to help other people or fight for anybody. We got too much going on at home. And I still think about Kendrick Johnson. It's like weighing on my spirit. Like we have big fish to fry and we're screaming about immigration and ICE, or we're talking about Latinos, the police officer. Like we know these people be coming over here to kiss their white butt. We don't need nobody. We need the good people we got.
Right. And look, let me respond to that. So when people say we need leaders, like those people should be questioned, right? Because they come off as bots, agents, all type of people like that. Because if we're going to accept leaders, then we got to drop the Jesus complex. Like we got to stop holding the human beings to a perfect status, right? So that leader might be a single mom. Okay. That leader might be a brother who got a felony conviction. You feel me? So the leaders got to be normal people who mess up in real life, and that shouldn't take away what they add to what we need, right? See, that's the thing. Like, what happens is anybody who's a so-called leader, they will either find something or place it on them, and then that's enough to say everything they ever said going forward and now is no longer relevant because he or she did this.
Whoever we graduate or whoever we put on a pedestal as a leader will be destroyed if we don't surround them. We don't need any more of that. We just need majority rule.
Right.
We need a coalition, period, with us.
Look at it. Look at Minister Farrakhan. Right. They paint him as a anti-Semite. They gave him the worst names in history. And matter of fact, if anybody associated, look at Obama. They made Obama rebuke him. They said, "Hey, get it." They made Obama rebuke his own pastor. Wasn't Jeremy right? So that's what they do. Once there's a leader, they will uglify that leader and say you got to rebuke that guy. So basically discredit him. Yeah, like what that? Look, hey, listen. You and I are adults. You're adults. We got friends, right? I'm a man. I got man friends. You woman. You got female friends, right? You got women friends. They do some crazy stuff, but that don't take away who they are, right? Because that's their personal life. But what they got to do with this, though? You feel me? Like that don't take away from this. So if a person got caught stealing boosting from Walmart, okay, I'm gonna laugh like, yo, you crazy. But that don't mean you're a messed up individual because you're a booster. You got caught.
We don't look at white history for, I hate to say white, European, because
white tea.
They've been running from that. Yeah, white tea, European, American, whatever they want to call themselves. Look at their history. This country is going to be 250 years old. A simple Google search is saying who committed the most crimes. Why are we still letting people who don't have any humanity in them tell us what we're doing is wrong? And It's not all of us. We are good people, majority. 14% is less than, what, they say 0.2 to 0.3. We're not out here just busting up each other upside the head for nothing. These people that's doing stuff to each other got to beef about something. Stay out of it. Go to work. That's what we do. Majority of us are hardworking, tax-paying, good, honest people. That I don't do the demonization of us as a whole because they say don't generalize,
Right.
but you generalize Black people every day
All the time.
until it's time for us to generalize you.
Right. They make us a monolith every time. But let me say this. I'm saying for those who are trying to be a voice on social media, until they understand like what's going on, our history, take off the delineated terms. Take off FBA, take off Freedman, take off Adolf, take off Salon, because you're misrepresenting us. Okay. So until you know what you're talking about, like, cause we appreciate the value and efforts, but we don't want you under those names publicly. Like you're a voice. If you're a voice, you need to know what you're talking about. Like you shouldn't be freestyling and guessing under the banner of FBA, ADOS, or whatever like that. Now I'm saying take that name off, go out there and figure out life, and come back and earn that name publicly. I'm saying like as a public, because people got social media platforms and they got influence. But if you're out here misrepresenting lineage, you make us all look bad.
But I hate that is that, because that's another tactic of YT supremacy, is to cherry pick out, oh, because you're saying you're this, you can't be that.
Wait,
it's not
not just cherry pick. No, not just cherry pick. Like for example, like let me give you somebody like Thomas Sowell, right? You know who Thomas Sowell is? Okay. What about Larry Elder? Okay. Or Jesse Lee Peterson. Like these are foundational Black American men, right? But they are but he's FBA though. So what I'm saying is but listen what I'm saying though. I'm glad that he doesn't use the FBA acronym, because he'll be a, see what I'm saying, he'll be a disservice. So I don't mind Jesse Lee being Jesse Lee under Jesse Lee name, but if he starts to say he's FBA and doing those Jesse Lee antics, I will be offended. Like, yo, you're misrepresenting the lineage. Yo, take that lineage name off and just do you. So I'm saying like you have a lot of people like Jesse Lee in their own way who are putting FBA as their name, but they're misrepresenting the lineage. They're giving us a bad name. And I have an issue with that. So now when I go live, people coming to me pretending or trying to associate me with that type of rhetoric. It's like, wait, what? And like these people don't know anything. Like they put no effort, nothing. Like in their own city. In their own city, they're not known for nothing positive. Like in my city, like my name is Ron Harrison. I got a Facebook thing and everything. I'm a real person with a Facebook. My name really, look me on Facebook. I'm Ron Harrison. In my city, I'm that guy. Whatever I talk, I'm known as that in my entire city. Okay, right. But not just my city, the surrounding city, New Brunswick, Newark. Like I'm that guy. East Orange, Irvington. I'm that guy. I'm stamped. I'm stamped as whatever I say online. I do it in real life. I say it in real life. See, but people don't have that, and that's what I appreciate about Tariq Nasheed, because what he does is he brings up people who he grew up with, right, on his panel, and they talk, right. So that's validation. Like, hey, I'm not just an online guy. I'm a real life. I do some real life too. So you got people who just remade themselves online, but in their own real life, like they're amongst their peers and their folks who live around them, they don't know them to be that. So like these guys reinvented themselves. These women reinvented themselves. Like that's not really respectable, right?
This need to create a persona.
Right. Yo, we don't even know it. Yeah, look, we don't even know their Facebook names outside of their stage name on YouTube or TikTok. Like, yo, what's your name? Like, yo, let me look you up on Facebook. You feel me? Like, yo, my name is Ron Harrison. Yo, people will tell you I was talking this talk 1,000 years before an ADOS and FBA. Okay, I was talking this talk since 2004. Okay, so I'm not new at all to this type of rhetoric, this type of talking points. This is familiar. So when I heard Yvette, when I heard Tariq, what they did was they just articulated in a way I never fathomed. You know, like wow.
to the FBA conclusion, because I'm like, cool, that's it's powerful, it's correct when you get down to it, and it encompasses a lot of people, and some of these people ain't all down with us like they say, but I get it. We still just gotta weed out those folks, and it's hard.
Nah, it's definitely hard, but it's right, and people hate accountability. People hate to be called out. All right, so look, hey, YouTubians, I'm gonna go live in a second. My disconnect. That time went crazy. So YouTubians, I'll get at you in a second. Say